Okay, don't want to forget some gluten-free bread. Or my room key, and funny enough, these room keys, if you put them against your phone, they stop working, but mine still works, and it's been almost 10 days. Taking the stairs, feeling a little bit better about myself. Okay, good morning everyone, and welcome back to yet another vlog. I had some bad luck in the previous races, crashed really hard and fever, but we still managed to finish and do okay-ish. So next race coming up on the 29th, Castellón, day off, Classica San Sebastian. That's going to be 230 k's. Classic, that's also pretty hard, and another race the day after that, Getchu. So we've got some 3 cool races coming up. It's going to be pretty hard. Doing my final prep now. Not quite sure what to expect after having crashed and feeling a little bit ill. But I'm going to head down to breakfast and take you on the ride today, and just talk cycling in general and the team hotel. This is the team hotel, by the way, so it's always been nice living up like a king, not having to do washing or making food or anything like that. Okay, so normally I just come sit outside and wait for the food to go down and take an extra coffee before going out for a training ride. So today's training ride is 4 hours, just riding, nothing special. Already did a couple of intervals the last 3 days, and then just basic recovery and freshening up for the upcoming races. So first race won't be a main priority, just get back into things after the last race since I crashed and got sick. But I have to say I've been a little bit lucky, and it was a really quick crash. I didn't break anything, and I had fever, and I wasn't sick too long after that, so dodged 2 bullets kind of, but it was not great in terms of preparation, especially so close to either be doing Volta España or Volta Portugal, and it's going to be tough. Okay, so obviously one of these TheraBands are pretty great for having them in your bag, especially if you're going to spend a lot of time in a hotel room. So basically you can just tie this to any place you can find in your hotel room and do quite a lot of exercises. I like doing it before training because I'm really lazy after training. Okay, so that's nicely tied behind my bed, and show you some training. Okay, and sometimes you might not even be able to tie it to anything, so it's a little bit of a trick where you just step on both. You kind of make a triangle, and you can still do it without having to tie your TheraBand to anything in the room. So there's a lot of ways you can obviously do it, so not really an excuse, but like I say, this is also not so much, it is strengthening exercises, but it doesn't do too much muscle damage. It kind of does trains the stabilizing muscles and smaller muscle groups which you need for cycling, and you don't need to do it in a gym. So pretty fun, especially if you're doing exercises while you know there is a benefit to them, especially cycling specific. And well, even if you're not a cyclist, you can still do them. And as you can see, standard procedure with our clothes hanging everywhere. I mean. So another thing, as a cyclist, especially in peak times, I don't want to put up too much muscle on the upper body. But I still want to do some core strength. So you can still do your normal sit-ups, do it at a quicker pace and not really too slow and controlled. Long story behind that. I know other people prefer to do it differently. Anyway, another way to do it is just to do easy bed push-ups, and yeah, that way you also don't get your hand dirty on dirty floors if you don't have a yoga mat. So you can just do this nice and controlled. Then kind of my final favorite workout that I just do, that I used to do some activation before your training, is simple squats. And there's a lot of different ways you can do it by normally I have my shoes on with specific insoles which prevents my knees from folding in, but this is just to show you an example of what I would do for activation. So, and there's so many ways you can do squats, especially if you have a ball behind your back in different angles which can target the quads or your VMOs separately or however you want to do it. But basically just nice, slow and controlled, making sure both my legs come up simultaneously. So I'm not activating the left quad, pushing up with the left quad quicker than with the right one. I try and balance them and just focus on that, do a couple of sets and you should be fine.
Okay, so the tow even has some mountain bikes for the people that want to go around for a stroll outside. But seems like there's a little bit of cloud, so. Those Citroens are quite nice. Wouldn't mind buying one of them. But not always so easy buying new cars, right? No value. Just can't get over it to buy a new car, but I know I have to. Probably gonna have to happen. But so many other investment opportunities. You don't have to waste it on cars. Bah, I have stuff now. Anyway, 4 hours coming up. Let's go enjoy it. Nice and cool weather, so no complaints. I'm passing through today and it's about 40 minutes into the ride getting water because the next stop there's no water. And as usual, drink a lot because even though you might not need that much water, it's always a good idea to learn your stomach how to get in enough fluids. To be honest, especially dieting a little bit more this time of year, riding past the pubs and seeing the people drink all the beer looks nice, looks really nice. Okay, so this is the next town, Pineda de la Sierra. It's got a nice climb in it. There used to be a ski slope here, believe it or not, like 20 years ago, but it doesn't snow as much anymore, so no ski slope, but the ski station is still there, so I'm gonna head up there. It's only a 13-minute climb, and yeah, head back home. So quite a lot of people here. It seems like it's quite a famous village. And just like that, we threw it. You know, growing up in South Africa, we don't really have these dustbins that differentiate different type of plastics and papers. So being a South African here, it's always quite confusing where to throw your papers. And I kind of just sometimes get nervous and throw it into the nearest bin. But over time I've learned to adapt and do it their way and do your bit for the environment. Okay, that's a ski resort behind me, but I've got a puncture. Okay, so I was about just to give up finding what caused that puncture, and just before I gave up, I checked again exactly at where it punctured and found like a super thin wire. And it's pretty sure I was doing a 10-minute effort up here, and like 4 minutes ago I got the puncture and I was like, well fuck, I'm gonna finish it, and then finish the puncture afterwards. So that's the second time I've punctured on the furthest section away from home on a climb just before finishing an interval, and it's the second time within a month that I've just continued riding on the flat finishing the interval. So if you're wondering, luckily it's downhill now. Porque tenía tu Instagram en